You must have heard by now that STOs or security tokens will be trending in 2019. So are STOs the new ICOs? Well, STOs are supposed to provide a more solid and safe investment due to the centralized and regulatory bodies that controls it. However, in this video, I'm going to reveal in under 5 minutes why things aren't always as it appears to be. You know what I mean? Coming up now.
Is your money working for you, or are you working for money?
So, are STOs the new ICOs? Not no, but hell no! Everyone seems to love the notion of STOs because it's supposed to address and prevent scams and uncertainties of ICOs, which will give institutional investors more confidence to invest in this new asset class by embracing the fact that the tokens being issued are indeed truly securities, which they are. But it's a big but before we get into more detail, let's momentarily take a step back, use our imagination, and just imagine for a second that a farmer in Punjab, India, or a minimum wage worker in a factory somewhere in North America getting paid $10 an hour has access to the same types of investments that Donald Trump, Jamie Dimon, and say Warren Buffett had. 4 years ago, this is something we could have only imagined or dreamed about, but this became a reality with the advent of ICOs within the past 3 years. These ICOs allowed anyone, no matter your annual salary, the part of the world you're from, or your social background, to invest into startup companies. This thing we call an initial coin offering made the playing field even, and we all had the same luxury and rights, which is only granted to accredited investors and venture capitalists. Now, another word for accredited investor is a qualified investor. Now, as a qualified investor, to be accredited, this grants you special status under financial regulation laws. This special status allows you to have access to investments such as venture capital investing into startups, hedge funds, and angel investments. Here is where the rich gets richer. So to be an accredited investor, you must have a net income of $1 million or earn an annual salary of at least $200,000 for at least 2 consecutive years. That's not you. That's not me. That's not the average guy. The assumption with the status is only rich people with large amounts of money should be allowed this privilege of investing in startups or pre-market companies. The lawmaker states that the goal of this law is meant to protect regular investors. This is actually quite the opposite case here. Investor accreditation should be based on understanding and experience, not simply one's bank account balance. Here's a very basic example of this. In order to legally drive a car or to become an accountant even, this requires you passing a test of competence to attain a driver's license or an accounting license. Being able to make these high-risk investments in registered securities or in initial funding for a startup should also be based on competence. Just because you got $1.5 million in your bank account does not make you the best driver in the world or even a licensed driver or the best accountant or a licensed accountant. You still gotta go through testing. So the same should be true for accredited investors. Now, accredited investors has incredible leverage over regular people when investing into stocks or security tokens. They have discounts starting at 50% on upwards and can simply choose to sell their tokens or stocks once it goes live to the public and everyone else starts buying in at a far more expensive price. What does this do? Okay, I'm gonna drop some more knowledge for you right now. This creates an ongoing cycle not only where the accredited investor continuously buys in first or at the cheapest price than the public, but to make matters worse, they don't even have to recognize any long-term value in a company in order to profit. Because all they need to do is simply get in early and rely on a non-accredited investors like Joe Blow, like Francis, like Aunt Margaret, and Granny Susie running to the nearest security exchange to buy the latest STO. But little do they know, they already missed the party. Here is a simple example of this. So we have a new security token going live and available to the public. This will be listed on a major security exchange. Accredited investor Alex invests $1 million into an STO at $1 token. After the private funding is finished and accredited investors has filled up their bellies and their appetites are satisfied, the companies or security token decides they are ready to go live to the public at a whopping price of $5 a token. As mentioned before, Joe Blow, myself, Francis, Aunt Margaret, and Granny Susie wants in because their favorite YouTuber said that STOs will be trending in 2019 and may possibly make you rich. So these average Joes want to make sure they don't miss out and get their piece of the pie too. However, little do they know, they are paying 5 times more than accredited investor Alex did. So now some time has gone by and they're seeing some small gains in the security token. It has evaluated to around $7 a token. Accredited investor Alex is sitting now on a 7x gainer, while regular investors like myself and Auntie Margaret and Granny Susie are only starting to see the token rise by $2. So now, lucky accredited investor Alex decides to cash out and dumps his bags on Granny Susie. Not only she doesn't make money, but in most cases, average investors in fact lose money by being dumped on. Hence, the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer. And the cycle repeats itself over and over and over and over again. There are 2 ways to make real money as an investor. Get it at the cheapest price possible, or get in first like accredited investors do every single darn day. So this is the luxury these guys have, and when I say these guys, I'm referring to these accredited investor dudes. The law permits this. So instead of protecting regular investors, in which this law was put in place to do, this very same law does quite the opposite and works backwards. In the end, the average investor whom this law was intended to protect are the very same people who ends up getting wrecked, because by the time they have bought in when the token goes live to the markets, the price can only go down from here as accredited investors begin to dump their bags on us regular guys. This is all I gotta say. Here's my conclusion. I truly believe the ability to demonstrate a deep understanding of the markets and token economics should be a seamless way to evaluate accreditation, and not how much damn money you have in your own bank account. That's stupid. The security token offering, or STO, is nothing more than a scapegoat by those in the old and current finance system to take back control in their current funding world. And look, let me tell you something right now. By you investing into a security token, all you're doing is kneeling down to venture capitalists and institutional investors. Well, the fact of the matter is, whether you like it or not, VCs have clearly lost their position in the funding world thanks to the disruptive nature of ICOs. But this new STO model is a savior for them. It's a perfect way for them to ensure they get some equity passed through these security tokens, which will help them maintain their current status quo. A status quo that sees them controlling full access to these investments at the cheapest price possible before anyone else. So in my opinion, do not believe the hype or get too caught up with these STOs. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't like holding other people's bags, and I don't like getting dumped on. That being said, I'm going to leave you with this quote from someone who I feel should be a Nobel Peace Prize winner. He goes by the name of Vitalik Buterin. Enjoy.
Wherever I go, it just goes with me. Crypto life is the life I lead.